Today is August 7, 2023. My name is Rob Carter of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, a few things today. First off, The Sound of Freedom, or I should just say, Sound of Freedom, the Jim Caviezel film that has been making tons of money, still in the theaters. Actually, I understand that it has now increased the number of screens or theaters showing the film. It's because people are flocking to see this movie. As of like yesterday or 2 days ago, the movie has made $165 million, and it is now the 12th highest grossing film for 2023. Now, obviously, we still have a few more months left in the year, but as of right now, it is number 12 on the list of money-making films, and that's a good thing. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to see it. Powerful, impactful, deals with sex trafficking, so it's a raw topic, but it's tastefully done as much as you can on a topic like that. Tastefully done, and you need to see the movie. You really do. Next on the list, about 2 weeks ago, the pro-abortion governor of Illinois signed the Consumer Fraud and Deceptive Business Practices Act. Well, that's a mouthful. The target of this bill, and there's no surprise here, the target of the bill are pro-life pregnancy care centers. Now, this is according to the governor's office. The bill would prohibit so-called pregnancy crisis centers from using misinformation, deceptive practices, or misrepresentation in order to interfere with access to abortion services. And it is true that the ultimate goal for pro-abortion liberals is to shut down pregnancy care centers all across the country. That is their goal. Elizabeth Warren, senator from Massachusetts, has made that one of her big causes. I mean, she really wants to see these CPCs shut down because from her vantage point, these pro-life clinics lie and cheat and deceive women into not having an abortion. These pregnancy care centers counsel women to seek another option, another alternative, rather than killing their baby, whether it's to keep the child or give the baby up for adoption. Or these are life-affirming centers, and the liberals can't stand that because these CPCs have been very successful nationwide. So they want to shut it down. But on August 3rd, a federal judge stepped in to impose a preliminary injunction to block this bill. The Thomas More Society is a pro-life organization, a bunch of pro-life attorneys, and they asked for a injunction. They asked a federal judge to intervene, which he did. And an attorney for the Thomas More Society said, quote, "The injunction sends a strong, clear message to the country that the First Amendment protects pro-life speech," unquote. Obviously, we're not done with this issue, but round one, maybe it's round two. I guess round one was the governor signing the bill. Round two, it has been blocked by a judge, thanks to a pro-life organization, the Thomas More Society. So we'll see what round three holds, but good news on that front. Tomorrow, the Utah Supreme Court is going to hear oral argument on the future of the state's pro-life bill law that bans practically all abortions, except for, I think, rape and incest, and if the baby has major fetal health issues, or if the mother has a severe life-threatening situation. Planned Parenthood and the ACLU have filed a lawsuit, and a judge has blocked the bill. Said an attorney for the pro-life side that Utah is eager to affirm that life is a human right. We hear a lot these days about trans rights or human rights or abortion rights or reproductive rights. Well, this attorney has said that life is a human right, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. This bill had been passed back in 2020, very restrictive pro-life law, but it could not take effect until Dobbs. When the Dobbs decision came down from the Supreme Court, then this 2020 law took effect immediately. It's referred to as a trigger law. Took effect immediately, and then the pro-abortion people stepped in and said no. And they found a judge that would agree with them. So it's going to the highest court in the state, so we'll see how this plays out. Also tomorrow, and I've talked about this last week, there's going to be a vote tomorrow in Ohio. And what's going to be on the ballot is something called Issue 1 or Issue Number 1. And basically, this vote tomorrow will allow the Ohio voters to decide that if there is a state referendum that would change the state constitution, that referendum would have to pass by a 60% threshold. Now, this Issue 1 vote tomorrow, you just need a 50% plus 1 to pass. So you just need 50% to win tomorrow. But what's at stake is the rule or the policy for these referendums in November for general elections that would change the state constitution. And they're asking for a 60%. They're asking voters to decide if they will approve a 60% threshold, a majority threshold for a referendum to actually pass. See, this all came about because the pro-abortion people got a petition drive together, just like we had in Michigan, to put this on the ballot, and it would be a constitutional change. It would legalize abortion up through fetal viability, and so it's very, very similar to Michigan's situation from last year. And the pro-lifers in Ohio have stepped in and say, well, let's hold off on this because if you have a federal constitutional amendment, that has to be approved by 2/3 in the House and 2/3 in the Senate. And then it has to go to the states, and it has to be approved by 3/5 of all the states. So at every level for a federal state constitutional amendment, it has to get far beyond or way beyond a 50% threshold. So they're saying it's good enough for the feds, it's good enough for the state of Ohio. And other states have this as well. And another point I didn't bring up last week, it also requires that if you're going to have a petition drive, you have to get signatures from, this is just Ohio, you have to get signatures from all 88 counties. Because right now, if you have a petition drive, you only need signatures from 44 counties. So from 50% of the county, only 50% of the counties are required to turn in, signatures, ballots. And this vote tomorrow, this Issue 1 vote is going to say, no, you have to have certified, registered voters from all 88 counties for this thing to go on the ballot in November. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. When I do my little recording on Wednesday, you'll see it on Thursday or Friday on the website. We will know the outcome. But as of right now, early voting has been going on for at least 3 weeks, and over 500,000 people have already voted. So the turnout is high, and I understand, according to the one article I read, as of right now, 42% are voting yes on Issue 1, yes for the pro-life side, and 41% for the pro-abortion side, with the rest undecided. So I know the pro-abortion side has been throwing in millions of dollars. Here again, just like Michigan. So be praying, that God will intervene and the pro-life side will get that 60%, because if that does pass, there's a good chance that even if this referendum were to get a majority vote, it may not get 60%, which means if it got 55, 56, 57% of the vote, of clear majority, it didn't get 60, it doesn't get into the Constitution. So it's a good check and balance on that. With that, I will let you go, and I will see you next time.